Hi everyone, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us today. We're having our regular 5 p.m. Pacific Time Wednesday Q&A, taking your questions live and answering U.S. immigration questions, general education kind of stuff, because I know it can be confusing and there's a lot of weird stuff going on, so I like to come by live and answer these questions every week, and I appreciate the whole team and crew of people coming and behind the scenes, all the staff members helping out on this. To start, a couple notes. One is we are doing our regular free consultation raffle, so you can get a 15-minute free consultation if you are watching on YouTube or on LinkedIn and Facebook, all that too. But if you're watching on YouTube, you subscribe, you like the page, and just leave a comment saying you're interested in a consultation while the live video is happening, not the recorded version of this. So if you're watching now, and then my associate will name some people who won every 10 minutes. We'll name one person. Stay on the line. Once you hear your name, you have to email me a screenshot that it is your account, and then we'll set up a time. My throat's already given way, and we just started, so I'm gonna try to go a little bit slower so I don't burn out this throat. We're gonna go real fast the next 30 minutes as your questions start to trickle in. So that's some housekeeping right there. If you'd like to schedule a consultation, email me at info@jqqlaw.com. And you can download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide if you're interested in a marriage case, a marriage green card case, and you want a free guide that's better than all of them out there. Just go to www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com and you catch it there. And with that, let's get it started. All right, everyone, thanks again for joining us. There's been some shifts happening in the immigration space. There's been some good openings that the Biden administration has done. They're kind of behind the scenes, some of them. But one is they're kind of opening up these travel ban situations so that if you're going to go for a J visa, for example, a student visa and the like, they may make it easier if you're from China, Iran, the EU, Brazil, South Africa to come in to the United States for those. So that's been a plus. We also got note that a standard that was changed during President Trump's time was that if you had an existing business case, like for example, you had an H-1B visa, an L-1 visa, an O-1, and you needed to do an extension or renewal, President Trump's people said you have to re-review the whole case. Immigration Department re-reviews everything and then checks it out, then goes forward. But the Biden administration brought the old guidance from like the early 2000s that said, listen, if you had one case approved, unless there's some material changes, we're just gonna be more easier about extending it, just going over some basics. So that's a major positive. Now, one major negative that's happened is for a large population in India. As you know, the situation in India with regards to COVID-19 has gone terrible. And because of that, for the most part, visa processing in India, and embassies and consulates has shut down except for rare emergency situations. We know we just got away from the H-1B bans, the L-1 bans, things were opening up, but then again, it's gotten worse. So expect even more delays if you are going to deal with Mission India. Zimana says, hi, is the adjustment of status the same or different for someone that has DACA entered the U.S. with a passport legal entry? Will I get a different work permit than I already have? So adjustment of status is adjustment of status. It's applying for a green card. And so the DACA part doesn't really matter here. You enter lawfully, so whether DACA doesn't come into place. Now the work permit is a different work permit. The work permit you have on DACA is based on one code. The adjustment of status work permit, or EAD, employment authorization document, is based on the C9 code for adjustment of status. It's a little more technical than need be in a conversation like this, but generally just file for the green card. If it's appropriate, you pass it, and that's that. Assad says, any news about the K-1 visa? Well, they have opened it up claiming that they're going to do interviews for K-1 visa holders, even if they're from trial ban countries, but it's yet to be seen. They say one thing, but in practice, what the embassies actually do is a different thing. So that's the news on that. Valeria asks, question, can someone with a pending asylum case apply for H-1B? Valeria, that's a complicated question, and you might get approval sometimes you won't. The main thing is you have to maintain status to be able to become an H-1B visa holder. And the issue is if you file for asylum after your previous status expired, then that's not going to work out. But if you applied for it before, can you still change status or not? Are you in valid status or not? There's differing opinions on this, so this is a larger issue that you'd have to consult with several immigration attorneys about to get the bottom of it. But the H-1B visa is applied for through your employer, so they would have an immigration lawyer you could talk with about that. Sevens asks, do people from Iran always have to go into administration processing? Not always, but most of the time nowadays, Iranians undergo what's called administrative processing, which is additional review of their cases. It's more often than not, at least 51% of the time, not 70% of the time, that's what happens to you running cases. Jasper asks, if your I-130 is approved and you have an I-601A pending, am I considered legal status? No, an I-130 or a 601 pending or filed or anything doesn't give you any status. It just means a case is pending where you potentially can get status, but it doesn't give you status. Love asks, I came to the U.S. on an ESTA VWP in 2018, married a U.S. citizen. After that, I went to a lawyer. I'm in New York, and he said I can't adjust status because I came here on ESTA, and ESTA holders are not allowed. So, Love, I'm sorry to hear that you went to a lawyer and they said that. A lot of lawyers don't follow up with the rules, and the rule for this was made like 10 years ago, so you should know. There is an exception where if you entered on the visa waiver program and marry a U.S. citizen, you can adjust status. In general, if you're a parent of a U.S. citizen, a minor child of a U.S. citizen, minor unmarried child, or a spouse of a U.S. citizen, if you come on the visa waiver or the ESTA program, you can adjust status. The rest of the case is okay. So, talk with another lawyer, schedule consultation office. Well, first and foremost, download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com and read that. And then if you need schedule a consultation in my office, we'll talk more. But unfortunately, you got bad advice. Haji asks, I'm a K1 visa holder, it's a fiancé visa holder. If I apply for I-485, that's applying for a green card in the U.S., and work permit without completed vaccination and I-693, will my application be denied? No, not at the time of filing. Well, one thing is if you came on a K1 visa, you did your medical, you probably just didn't do the vaccines. You just need to have your vaccine record when you go to the interview. If you don't have it at the interview, they may deny it or give you some more time to get the vaccines, but just get the vaccines for the interview and get it done. Jim, you should have probably done it at the embassy. Just get it out of the way. Malik asks, how marriage interview going on this pandemic, if you attended any? Okay, she's asking how are marriage interviews happening? Are you attending any? Yeah, I've attended. I have like a bunch of ones right here. About once a week, I go to marriage interviews and they're just having fun. They just have a glass in front of you when you're talking to the person. When you're walking in security, they only want you to enter the room 15 minutes beforehand. So if you go in early, they won't let you in the building many times. They're gonna do a degree, they're gonna get your temperature when you're signing in and checking in. When you're sitting in the waiting room, the seats are mid and away, so a lot of people can't sit next to each other or have to be distanced. But generally they're happening and it's fine. Ivy says, hello sir, do you need a joint bank account as proof of evidence of marriage? In this case, if you just got married and only one spouse is working, so it will be empty, thanks. Having a joint bank account is good. I would definitely do that, but there's other ways to show your relationship. Aris, thank you so much for sending the good points on TikTok. But there's other ways of doing it. You just got to have documentation. Why not open a joint bank account, put money in over time? But if you can't do that, then it is what it is. Just try to have other documents to show your relationship is real. Check out the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. I'll give you some ideas at www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Ferdy asks, attorney, I was petitioned by my mother 10 years ago. She was a green card holder back then. I was single when it was filed. But 5 years ago, I got married. Until last month, I received a letter from NBC. I'm sorry to hear that, but once you got married, the petition was invalidated. A green card holder, child of a green card holder who has a case pending cannot get married until they get the green card or until the parent becomes a U.S. citizen. So unfortunately, you destroy the case by getting married. Malik asks, any tips for marriage-based green card interview, Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide? Yeah, so definitely download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. At the end, there's like 4 or 5 pages of practice questions. But basically, the most important thing that's happened since Trump came and still has continued is they go into detail about how you met each other. So how you met each other, what the date was, what date you met each other, and when was the first time you went out, when did the relationship become intimate or become boyfriend-girlfriend or boyfriend-boyfriend, whatever it is. And you need to know the dates, where you went for that dinner when you first got serious, when the engagement was a date, what you did exactly. So they go into a lot of facts about your case. So in my practice interviews, we go over that relationship history with my clients so we can be very prepared. I just had a consultation 2 hours ago with a couple, didn't hire an attorney, submitted the case themselves, went in unprepared, couldn't answer the questions well, and it's been 2 years now the case is pending. They're doing a fraud investigation now because they didn't answer the questions well. Now the facts are kind of weird. The couple had a huge age difference. I've submitted half a dozen of these cases where there are huge age differences, never been a problem, but the couple just needs to be prepared to be able to answer questions. You got to know each other well, and unfortunately they didn't hit it down properly, they weren't prepared, and now they're stuck in this limbo. So really prepare for your case. And that's one of the things, usually you don't have to have a lawyer, but you're going to do this once. It's a big thing in your life. Why not just hire an attorney to help you out and make sure you cover all your bases? Tatiana asks, spouses of U.S. citizens can apply for U.S. citizenship 3 years after marriage date or 3 years after getting their conditional green card. Thank you. Yeah, Tatiana, that's a good question. If you're married and living with the U.S. citizen for 3 years, you could use that early 3-year filing, but based on the date that the green card is issued, not based on the marriage date. So once the green card is issued, based on marriage to U.S. citizen, 3 years after that, as long as you're married and living together, or 2 years and 100 or 90 days before the 3-year mark is the first availability to file, as long as you satisfy the other requirements for it as well. Elisa says, how do I go about looking for the right immigration lawyer? Well, Lisa, I have a full video on this. I have like a 20-minute video, and I shortened one to also like 5 minutes because people probably weren't listening to a 20-minute one. But just go to youtube.com and check out the JQK Law Firm, How to Find an Immigration Lawyer, or download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. I have a list and then a link to that video. Just go to www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. I break down the long format of how to choose an immigration lawyer. So it's a long 20-minute video, which not many people watch, but the good stuff don't get watched too much. We'll be back again next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time. If you're interested in having a full consultation, email my office and briefly describe the immigration issue that you have at info@jqqlaw.com. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you everyone who joined our program today. Until next one, have a good one. Be safe and God bless. Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed this educational video. We have a second channel with much more information as well at JQK Immigration Clips. Please check that out. Also, you'll find our social media site has a lot more videos, images, and information about the U.S. immigration process. Please check those out on the various social media websites.